Greetings and welcome to another tutorial on building scenery in MSFS 2020. In this tutorial, I am going to walk through all the steps of importing a 3D model into Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. You will need the 3D modeling tool Blender, and you can find Blender at this location. The link is in the comment below. Once you open the link, you want to go to download and download Blender for your operating system. Blender is a free platform. As you noticed above, they work off of donations, so you are not going to have to pay for a 3D tool if you go with Blender. The second item we will need is a Blender to MSFS toolkit. You can go to this site here, it's also pinned in the comment below, and download the toolkit. Once the download is complete, you can leave the zipped file in your download folder. There's no need to do anything else. The third thing you will need is a start to your scenery files. I would recommend a scenery folder to begin with. I also recommend having a template available to use. If you do not already have your scenery folder and your template built, I will point you to a tutorial that will walk you through the process. The tutorial is one I made. It is one alpha MSFS 2020 scenery tutorial, 13 steps to build your first scenery folder without using SDK. The last item you will need is a 3D object. I have a 3D model, a water tower, that I purchased through TurboSquid. You can find TurboSquid 3D models online. So now, if you have a 3D model, if you have your scenery folder ready to go, if you downloaded Blender, and if you have the Blender to MSFS toolkit, and if you have Blender installed, you're ready to go. We will start with you getting all the materials together, get Blender downloaded, and we'll pick up from there. With Blender downloaded and installed, with the MSFS toolkit in my download folder, I will begin. The first step is to delete the generic items in Blender when you open Blender. I'm going to select the 3 items and delete. I am going to my menu at top and tick Edit, tick Preferences. I want to tick the Add-ons tab. I want to hit the Install button. I'm going to tick on the MSFS Add-ons linker. This does not have to be unzipped. Blender will do that. And I'm going to install the add-on. With the add-on installed, I want to make sure that the MSFS toolkit is ticked on. And now I'm going to import my 3D model. Blender uses various file types. I purchased my 3D model as an OBJ file, so I will open the water tower OBJ. File, Import. Go down and find Wavefront OBJ. I'm going to navigate to my folder on my desktop. I placed my water tower OBJ in my scenery folder on my desktop, so I'm going to navigate to there. Here is my scenery file, Patriot 6 scenery files. Here is my water tower OBJ. I want to tick on the object and import. And here is my water tower. So that we are clear, this is not going to be a tutorial on how to use Blender. The process I use in this video is the entirety of my Blender knowledge. So I am not the person to teach you how to use Blender. There are many resources on YouTube to teach you how to use Blender if you have the time and the patience to learn. I do not have the time and patience, and therefore I bought a 3D object. With my object here, now I want to go to my Patriot 6 scenery files that I placed on my desktop, and I want to find my template folder, and I want to make a copy. I want to paste into the same folder, and now I'm going to give this a unique name. I will be using the name Patriot 6 water tower scene. And now I want to export my water tower to my scenery folder. File, export. I want to find the GTIF for MSFS and ticket. Now I want to point to my folder where I'm going to place this item, the Patriot 6 water tower scene on my desktop. I want to go in Package Sources. I'm going to Model Lib. I'm going to create a new folder. You have a folder creator icon here you can tick on. I named it Patriot 6 water tower. You can name your file whatever you wish. I'm going to open the folder I just created. I now must set the location for the textures. If you recall, up one level is a texture folder. Back to my water tower folder. Over in textures, I'm going to enter this path, /texture/. This will allow your textures to go in the texture folder one level above. I'm going to tick and expand MSFS. I'm going to tick on Generate Append. This is for my XML. I am going to give the XML a one-word name, Patriot 6 water tower. I'm going to tick on Generate GUID. I'm going to expand, include, and tick on both items in here, selected objects and custom properties. I'm going to expand transform and leave this ticked. I'm going to expand geometry and make sure all are ticked. There is no animation, so this isn't necessary. And now I'm going to export. I'm going to give the object a name, Patriot 6 water tower. And now I'm going to export. Back to my scenery folder, I'm going to open up the Patriot 6 water tower scene. I'm going to Package Sources. I'm going to Model Lib. I'm going to the water tower. Inside the water tower, I should have three things. I have a Patriot 6 water tower XML document. I have a Patriot 6 water tower bin file. I have a Patriot 6 water tower 3D object. Those are the three items I will need. And with that complete, I'm going to exit out of Blender. I am now in the sim. The first thing, of course, we want to go into Developers mode. That's Options, General Options, Developers, On, Apply and Save. Here is where mistakes often occur. The 3D object is only available until you build a package and restart the sim and reload the package. So let's go through that process. I'm going up to my Developer menu, Tools, Project Editor. On the Project Editor, I'm going to tick Project, Open Project. I'm going to navigate to my folder on my desktop. I'm going to my Scenery folder, Patriot 6 Water Tower Scenery. I'm going to the bottom XML. I'm going to tick Open. I'm going to enter the name, Patriot 6 Water Tower. This information is for the Content Manager. Patriot 6 is my company name. I'm going to insert an image. Always insert an image with these type of packages. And now I'm going to build my package. The dialog box pops up saying modifications detected. I want to select yes. The package is built. I'm going back to my developer menu, window, tick off the console, and now I'm going to close the project. I'm going to close my tools, and I'm going to restart the sim. And now I will go to a location near my home where I want to place the water tower. At my location, I'm going to fly. I'm going up to the developers menu. I'm going to tick options, and I'm going to pause the sim. Still on the developers menu, I'm going to select the developer camera. And now I'm going over to the location where I'm going to place the water tower. I am at the location where the water tower goes, and if you'll notice, there is a picture of a water tower on the ground. The artificial intelligence thinks that this is a building, so it has spawned a building here. I'm going up to my developers menu. I am going to tools. I'm going to open project editor. On the project editor, I'm ticking project, open project. I'm going to the scenery folder that I made. I'm going down to the bottom XML, and I'm going to tick open. I'm going to give it the name Patriot 6 Water Tower. The creator name is Patriot 6. I did inject my thumbnail. A thumbnail is mandatory with these type of packages. In the past, I've said images are optional, but I would say now that it's mandatory. It depends on what type of package you're building. If you're working off my tutorials, then the image becomes mandatory. If you're working off of an older version of SDK, where you have the samples, then a picture may not be necessary. To be safe, I would always put a picture in. Have a picture ready and put a picture in. I'm going to my scene. I'm going to load in editor. The material editor I do not need. And I'm going to wait for the scenery to spawn in. The scenery is now loaded in. So the first thing I'm going to do is to build an exclusion polygon around this perimeter and exclude buildings so the building will not spawn. To do that, you go up to your objects window, change object type from scenery to polygon. I'm going to hit add, and I'm going to hold my left control key down the entire time and use my mouse button. Every click will set a pivot point. And once I'm through building the polygon, I will do a double click and the polygon will be built. Double click to close the polygon. I am going to my scenery editor, view, properties. Where it says buildings, I'm going to tick exclude all. And now I can close my properties window. The building is excluded. It will not come back. Back to my objects window, object type. I'm going back to scenery. I'm going to tick all. As I enter the name of my water tower, it should appear in this window. And there it is, Patriot 6 Water Tower. Want to click on it, click add, move it into place, and now I'm going to the gizmo and I'm going to scale the water tower up in size. It's setting on a power of 1. I'm going to take a guess at 3.5. Okay, that looks pretty close. I believe the size is close enough. I'm going to save the scenery just to be safe. Down on my scenery editor, I'm going to tick Save Scenery. I'm going to navigate to my package sources, Scene, and now I'm going to save this scenery file and I'm going to give it a single name, Patriot 6 Water Tower, and save. With my water tower completed and now in place, I'm going to add lighting to make it more interesting. I'm going to change the time of the day to about dusk. Just enough light to make it stand out a bit. I'm going to look for a red flashing light to put on top of it. With my red flashing light selected, I'm going to the Scenery Editor, View, Properties. Where it says Snap to Ground, I want to uncheck. And raise this light up. Okay, that looks pretty good. Once again, I'm going to save my scenery. I'm going to my project editor. I'm going to tick on the blue scenery file here. And I'm going to build the package again. Turning my console off. I'm turning my tools off. I'm going to move this to my community folder. Here is my community folder, and here is my scenery folder. I am going to the scenery file that I'm working on. Double click. I'm going to Packages. Here is my package. I'm going to copy. I'm going to paste in my community folder. I'm going to give it a unique name. The name is Patriot 6 Water Tower Scene. Close my community folder. Close my scenery folder. I'm going to restart the sim. With the package built and moved to my community folder, I restarted the simulator. I'm back at location, and now I'm going to fly. I'm going to use my developer's camera and go look for my water tower. And there is my water tower. And that is how you move 3D objects into the simulator. Since I paid for this water tower, I want to get as much out of my investment as possible. And as long as this package remains in the community folder, this water tower can be used as much as I want, any place that I want. And that is the end of this tutorial. Hopefully you found something helpful. Hopefully you found something useful. Hopefully you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to leave the questions in the comment section below, and thank you once again for watching Patriot 6.